Hello and welcome to Organized-ish. My name is Leela and my goal is to teach you how to keep your home and your life organized-ish without getting too overwhelmed. And that's what today's video is going to be about, because over the weekend I did an Ask Me Anything on Instagram and I got the same question over and over again, and that was, how do I start when I have one room that just has a bunch of things piled up? So I answered that question as well as I could. It's kind of hard to just kind of explain that. And then I thought, wait a minute, my guest room is also piled up with a bunch of things and I need to clean it out so I can actually have a guest in here tonight. So I am going to show you, instead of tell you, how to clean up a space when you've just got a bunch of random things. I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to tackle it so you don't get overwhelmed, so you're able to stay on track. And we're not going to do a ton of organizing. We're really just going to declutter. We're going to clean up. We're going to put stuff in places for now. And then we'll talk about ways to organize everything later, because I know I'm going to need to order some things. So this is going to be kind of like real time on once you get a space cleaned up, then how do you decide what to order? How do you decide what kind of storage you need? We're going to go over all that, but for now, let's just start cleaning up in here. Now, a space like this can definitely be overwhelming, but if you start looking at it as just a bunch of separate things that you need to deal with instead of one big giant mess, it makes it a whole lot easier. So we're going to start by ignoring everything in the room except trash. All we're going to do is go through the room, pick up all the trash, throw it away, get all the recycling stacked up, and then we're just going to see where we're at after that. Once you've picked up all the visible trash, you're probably starting to see at least the floor a little bit, which is really, really motivating. But at the same time, as you're going through this room, you're probably starting to get a little overwhelmed already with all of the things that you know you're going to have to pick up. So what I want to recommend is that you take a quick little break. Just reset your brain, go grab a drink or a snack, or just sit down and scroll online for a few minutes, long enough to just let your brain calm down and relax and regain your thoughts and your stress level, just in case you're starting to feel a little like, because I'm feeling that way already, so I'm sure you probably will be too. Now, one thing to know is, yes, you did clean up a lot of trash, but you're going to find more, so don't stress about maybe not getting all the trash, or if you know there's some that you haven't gotten to yet, not a big deal. You can totally move on to the next step after your break, and then as you find more trash, just throw it away as you go. I'm back from my break. I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling less overwhelmed, and I'm ready to get started on step 2. So when you were going through all of your trash, I'm sure you were starting to see all of the individual items and probably starting to wonder, where are they all going to go? How am I going to tackle all of this? Where do I start? And that's what we're going to do next. So with everything in the room, you're probably starting to feel like, I don't know what to do. There's too much in here. I want to give you my advice on how to start, and that is just in one small place at a time. So what we're going to do is just pick one small corner, one table, the top of the bed, one area, one shelf in the closet, whatever it is that you're working with. You're just going to go one small area at a time and just declutter that one spot. Now you're going to want to set up a few boxes. I'm sure you probably found some boxes when you were cleaning up the trash. So just line them up. The way that I have mine set up is I've got a rehome upstairs, a rehome downstairs, a donate, and the things that are going to be going in this closet once I get the closet cleaned up. Now this is going to look a little different for you based on your home and what's in the room that you're cleaning out, but just having those general box categories of things that shouldn't be in the space and where they need to go, it's going to help you be able to have them out of the way when you're cleaning up the room. But if you run out of time, then you don't have all these big piles that still have to be cleaned up. You can just close the box, come back to it another day, and put those items away. This really gives you like a stopping point so you don't have such a huge mess and you're able to get this room cleaned up and you can deal with the other things that you weren't able to get to later on without having to feel like you've got to stop everything you're doing to finish up. So you've got to figure out some kind of system that's going to work for you. For me, I have the boxes lined up and I'm going to use the top of the bed for anything that's supposed to stay in the room that I haven't really found a place for yet, or something that needs a container, or something that goes in the closet that doesn't fit in the box. So the first place that I'm going to declutter is the top of the bed. That way I have a place to put everything that is going to go on the bed later. So let's clean up the top of the bed. We'll start filling up these boxes and we are just gonna jump right in. I promise it's not as scary as you think. You can totally do this. You can totally follow along. So let's just work through this one area. Okay, so see, that wasn't so bad. Just cleaning off the bed was really fast, it was easy, and it wasn't really distracting because I was able to completely ignore everything in the room and just focus on that one space. So that's what we're gonna do again. Next, I'm gonna work on this area behind me. It's where a lot of the Amazon Prime Day stuff that I ordered just got piled. It's also where a lot of things that I'm gonna be filming videos with are all just kind of mushed together. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with these because I know they're just gonna be things that I'm gonna be working with over the next couple of weeks. So what I'm gonna do is just put them all in a container and then probably just put it in this closet. That way it's accessible for me to use without taking up a ton of space and just being piled up in this room. Okay, so I have finished my little mini declutter session. These are the things that are going to go upstairs and other spaces. These things go downstairs. These are donations. And then this box, I just need to slide into the closet. It's more things that I'll be filming with later. So I'm going to take out these boxes. I'm going to put the downstairs box just in the garage on the countertop. I'm going to put the upstairs box probably under my clothes in the closet just so it's out of the way. And then I'll go ahead and put the donation box in my trunk. And that is going to get everything out of here. And all I have to do is vacuum and dust and clean up and get it ready for my guest. Now, one thing you probably noticed is I didn't organize at all. The things on the shelves, they don't look pretty. I just lined up everything on the closet shelves. I didn't do any kind of organization at all. And the reason why is I needed to be able to see how many things are going to be stored in this room and the type of storage I need, which is your next step. So after you have separated all of your items. You have all of your boxes. You don't even have to touch the boxes. They can still be lined up. But just knowing the different types of things that you're going to have in the room and the different types of storage you're going to need, that's where the pen, the paper, and the measuring tape are going to come into play. You're just going to write down a quick list of anything that you need for storage, anything you need to add to the room, and you're really just going to try to get all of that on paper. If you need to buy containers, it's a good idea to measure the shelves, measure the size of containers you're going to need, and write that next to the item on the list. It just helps to be able to have everything all at a glance. Now, another thing that I'm not doing in here is I'm not going to immediately go put away everything in all those boxes. I have one box for things that go upstairs in like 4 different rooms. I have another box of things that go downstairs, some in my craft room and some in the garage. And if I were to try to put away everything in those boxes, one, I'm probably going to run out of time and something else is going to come up in the day, leaving me with a huge mess. And two, I have just decluttered a whole room. That's enough for the day. One thing that I always suggest is trying not to do too much at one time. It's really helpful when you're able to get to a stopping point and then just stop. You feel like you are productive. You know that you have reached the end of one of the steps of things that you're supposed to do, and you're excited about being able to do the next step later on. If I had tried to empty out all of these boxes today, I would be so burnt out, I wouldn't finish, and then it would be days before I even tried to do it again. But knowing that I have all these boxes lined up and ready, I am excited to be able to take a day and just put away all the things in the rehome upstairs box. And then another afternoon, I'm able to rehome everything in the downstairs box. Another day, I'm able to drop off the donations. It's not this huge, overwhelming task when you break it up into smaller days, but you still have a clear plan on what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to take this list that I just made of all the things that I need to make the room more functional. I'm going to kick back on the couch, do some ordering online, and once everything comes in and we're ready to make the room a little more organized, I will come back with a part 2 of this video so I can show you how we actually organize it. But the goal today in this video is just to help you see that a big organizing and decluttering project doesn't have to be overwhelming because it doesn't have to be one project. My project today was just to get the room cleaned up to where someone can use this room to sleep in. Another day, my goal is just going to be to put away all the things that are in the boxes. And then another day, my goal will be to organize. I'll probably do the closet one day and other spaces in the room another, but just by having separate little projects instead of seeing it as I need to organize the guest room, that's going to make you feel like you can actually accomplish this. And it's really going to help you stay focused and in control to where you're not just like drowning in everything. I hope this video was helpful for you. I want you to pick a space in your house that needs a little love. Take these first steps of going through and pulling out all the trash, then dividing things up into categories in different areas until you reach that point, and then just making a list of the storage items that you could add that would just make things a little easier for you. Remember that none of this is going to happen in one day. Clearly, it's not happening for me in one day, and this is my job. So try not to get overwhelmed. Take it step by step, and I will see you back in part 2 when we organize this closet.